tonight on the Broalition, we list our top 10 favorite video games of all time. We're doing this for Garth in Ireland because we really don't want to, but we're doing it anyway. And we talk about Uranus, as we always do.
Uranus.
All right, the Broalition coming to you. I always say live. We are live. We're not dead.
I mean, yeah, we're live here.
We are taped, but it's technically we're live right now. We're coming to you from the alternate universe. We're just going to call it Uranus, the alternate universe.
Our alternate universe is called Uranus?
Yes.
Perfect.
And in our alternate universe of Uranus, we don't have any viruses whatsoever, but we do have great places to eat at Uranus.
I've heard the fudge at Uranus is awesome.
Yes. It's fantastic. Oh, yeah.
Don't look at my list.
There's a sign that says
I know.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, but what about the guy who discovered that planet?
Where is Uranus, though?
I don't know. But the guy who discovered the planet.
Town.
Can you imagine the guy?
Not the planet, the town.
Oh, that's out. It's somewhere in Missouri.
You were there, right?
Yeah, it was in Missouri.
Yeah, I went right by
okay.
it. It's on the way to Branson.
Yeah. It's the name of a town.
But what about the guy who's discovered the planet? He's sitting there and he's so proud of it.
Yeah.
Stop. I'm trying to make a point here.
I was going to help you.
But the guy who does the plane, he gets a plane, he's so proud of it. And he goes and he's going to talk to, this scientific emporium or something. And he's just kind of like, I discovered a new planet. Like, great, cheers. Like, what are you going to call it? Uranus? And people in the back going, why don't you just name it Areola or something like that? What of all the names, I guess, I don't know if they had anus back then when it was discovered.
Who knows?
I don't know
either. You need
either.
to check the Latin and the Greek.
I don't know. Poor guy. So tonight we're going to do our top 10 video games, and we should have done this earlier because we're all avid gamers, and so we're just kind of doing it because our friend in Ireland was complaining.
He complains all the time.
We talk about stuff that he has no interest in whatsoever, like Jesus. And
oh, wow.
I was like, TV.
That's what you get for complaining.
Entertainment must be a lot different over there. He's like, I haven't heard any of these shows.
Well,
I don't know what they watch over there.
They just watch goats on the side of the mountain.
They watch, yeah.
I mean, that's all
they do. They get off work. They go to the pub. They drink themselves in a stupor and go home and pass out on the couch.
But they have better things to look at outside, though. He sent me some pictures of where he's had lunch before, and there's like castles in the background. Yeah. And he's like, seriously?
If you can see it, see them through all the rain. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that's all it does the entire time. But it snows more there than it does here. Some island out in the middle of the ocean.
Thank goodness. I don't want it.
Snows more there. I hate it with a passion. So top 10 video games of all time. This is not a conclusive list.
No.
This is my list.
This is our list, which will differ from your list. This is our favorites, not the greatest of all time. Well,
I mean, you can.
Okay, they would be the greatest of all time. Okay.
The old saying.
In our universe,
according to us, in the universe of Uranus, it is.
This is the greatest list composed.
Right. So what you do if you're keeping score at home is you just start writing the names down, and pretty soon you'll have a list maybe of the top 25 games of all time. Yeah. So you can do that because, like always, we're going to sit here
because they're probably going to be terrible.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see.
All mine are good.
All right. Let's see.
You want to? I got before we get into video games, it's kind of related. I don't want to start off on a bad note.
Oh no.
I watched 4 episodes of The Witcher and really didn't like it. But here's why.
Okay. It wasn't because of Henry Cavill, because he's amazing.
Absolutely not.
Did you play the games?
I did not play the game. That's one reason. And if Geralt had been in every scene, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll agree.
The episodes with the deformed witch who...
Yes.
It's slow, man.
It is. Like I said, season 2 really gets it's a lot better in season 2.
Yeah,
it is slow.
He's a great Witcher.
They could not have picked.
They could not have picked a better. And
It
so
looks like they didn't even pick him though. Like he said, "No, I'm doing this.
Yeah, he was
I want to do this."
My role.
Hopefully, he'll be Shepard in Mass Effect.
There you go.
If they ever do that,
that would be good.
They'll pick someone nobody.
And I caught grief from family members and passerbys and people who just generally don't like me concerning my comments about Yellystone.
Oh wow, you caught grief.
Or Jellystone, as we refer to here in Uranus. But I don't care.
They know that's just going to make it worse.
If you want to watch a good show, if you like that kind of show and you want to watch a good show, watch Longmire. Longmire is a fantastic show, And if you watch Longmire, and if you watch the first season of Jellystone, if you watch Longmire, you're going to be going, wait a minute, this looks awful familiar here. Because he has the same confrontation with an evil casino owner on an Indian reservation, and there's a lot of similarities between the two. But if you're a sci-fi fan, you need to watch Longmire because the guy who plays Longmire was one of the agents in the original Matrix.
Really?
Yep.
Oh,
And one of his deputies, he's a marshal, or sheriff, and one of his deputies was Starbuck on the reboot of Battlestar Galactica.
Never saw it.
The girl.
Didn't watch it.
Well, she was in something else. She was Starbuck. And,
Just take your word for it.
oh my gosh. Okay, Doug, if you're watching, they have no idea about Battlestar Galactica. So
I've seen the cover for it. I think I put it in our Netflix list once. We've never watched it.
yeah, I miss shows like Dallas.
Who killed JR?
I know. Because
This is where I
JR
got my nickname.
JR was such a fantastic character that you just loved to hate him. He was great. But they also had other characters. You know, Bobby, his brother. You liked him. You liked the Ewings. But it was just fantastic. Oh, an angel got its wings.
Unbelievable. It wasn't me.
Was that you, JR?
It's because we have our phones out for our list tonight.
Yeah, that's true. We do. Yeah, we gotta have
Okay.
these for our list.
All right, it's muted.
Not all of us have one of those things called a printer. that
Yeah.
existed back.
Old
in the
school,
90s.
buddy. Paper,
Yeah.
printer.
We don't have one of those.
That's the way
Oh,
we
we
do
have
stuff.
a printer. It's always out of ink or paper.
I can't help that. Sounds like a personal problem. They make drugs for that. All right. Who wants to start?
You got to start. You're in the middle.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. Now, the fun part will be to see how many
How many of them cross?
cross. I just know.
And what are we going to do
When
when
we
they
get done,
cross?
it's going to be like 5. There's going to be like 5 games we pick.
What are we going to do if they cross? Just go with it?
I'm going
Because
to.
I don't have a.
He's got a list of 20.
I'm going to
I do not.
say, yeah, I got a list of 20 because I knew this was going to happen.
Just
so,
make up something. I think we're okay for the first few.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh no.
All right, my number 10. This was on Sega Genesis. NCAA football.
Back when when they could actually do NCAA.
They could do it,
Yeah.
and you got it. And they had all 110 teams back during that time, or how many they had.
Mm-hmm.
You could create a team. You go out and you would play, and it wasn't as complicated as Madden.
Didn't they actually have the names of the players too, or was it just numbers?
It was just numbers.
Because when where they got in trouble, they started actually using names.
Yeah.
And the players were like, "Well, if you're going to use our likeness,
Right.
we want money."
But you could tell who it was.
yeah.
But we just, I graduated from Tennessee. There was a guy at seminary. He was from Georgia. We had epic games
Yes.
on the Genesis. It
Yes.
was awesome. So it was just a great game. They're going to bring it back, even though EA is not the company it used to be.
No. Far from it.
Far from it. They're going to bring the game back. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm pretty excited about it. But since they do these new deals in college football and basketball called the NIL, name, image, and likeness, then I would say they'll start putting the players in there. So that's the way it'd be. All right, that's my number 10. Go.
All right, my number 10, SOCOM, U.S. Navy SEALs on the PlayStation 2.
Oh, great game.
Fantastic game. This is a series, the whole series. Fantastic games. That was like the third-person shooter. That was kind of the break-in for the third-person shooter. That was really a groundbreaking series of games that was really underappreciated.
Yes, that was a great game.
Fantastic set of games.
Good.
Our lists are definitely going to be eclectic and different because up until one of the games on this list, I only played racing games, period. And there's no racing games, sort of, on my list.
Sort of.
So my favorites are going to come later than your guys.
Oh, I know what Nintendo game you've got.
We're going to start with the very first action game I ever played.
Super Mario.
No, that's side-scroller. It's not action.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Get him.
I'm not a big, because everybody wants to say
Oh,
Mario is such
my
a
gosh.
great game and
It
great
is a great
franchise. I don't enjoy it very much. And you can
You need
I'll
to,
put
you
my
need to
email
work
on
at an
the list.
Yeah,
internet
you can
game
hate him
show.
if you want to.
hate me if you want to. Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
The original?
I love the
The
original.
original was one of the best. I have to agree.
Assassin's Creed 2 is probably the best of the whole franchise, but I really like
that
the first-
SEO?
Yep.
That was good, but one just had that. One was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
had systems that
And it
today
hasn't-
games still use.
And it hasn't been that groundbreaking since. Some of the features in that game are not in
Are
any of the
gone.
other Assassin's Creeds.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. Good
I've
choice.
never played it.
Good
But.
choice.
All right, number 9. We're good so far. Number 9, a game called Tecmo Bowl.
Oh, yes. Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson.
Not my thing. I was playing racing games.
I played Tecmo Bowl. We lived in a I call it campus housing apartments, but it was basically looked like World War II bomb shelters. It was just nothing but concrete, and so we all lived in there. There was a group of us guys who ran together. We lived in this apartment, and we all played Tecmo Bowl, and everybody had their own team, and we would do tournaments like every weekend where everybody would play, and then there'd be a champ, and you were the champ. And once you were the champ, you got to be challenged.
Dixie Chicken.
Dixie Chicken.
Nice.
That's where your name came from?
Yeah, because if you got challenged and you did not respond, then you were the Dixie Chicken.
And it could be 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Now, if you were on a date or you had homework, you could not be challenged. But if you were just sitting around watching TV, if they called you, you had to stop what you were doing, get up, go over to this guy's apartment who had the biggest TV, which was a 20-inch. And
and square.
Yeah. It's the reason why I have glasses, because you're like real close to the screen the entire time. And you would play to see who would be winner.
Fantastic. And like I
Good
said, if
days.
you had Bo Jackson on that game,
Yeah, I played with Chiefs. So
nice.
It had to be impactful. I mean, it's where you had your gamer tag for a long time.
Yes, it was. And the cool thing about it was the simplicity of it. You had 8 offensive plays you could do. And the guy would, when the guy was on defense, if he guessed your play,
the same play, he'd blitz you.
He'd blitz you and destroy you.
Yep.
And so it was just fun, super fun.
Great game. I agree. So far, I'm in agreement.
Good.
All right, my number 9 is the new God of War.
The newest one?
The newest one.
That's 9.
That is my number 9 on my list.
Well, I missed your number 1.
It is a fantastic game. If you haven't played it, you need to play it. The storytelling, the story arc of that game, phenomenal. It is very linear, and that's what's awesome about it. Is it was linear, but it kept my interest the entire way through. And usually nowadays, linear games do not keep my interest.
Yeah.
If I can't just go do what I want, I don't like them anymore. But for God of War, grabbed me and would not let go.
Can you explain what linear means to our non-gaming people
linear
who
is
have made it this far?
You have a path from point A to point B, and you have to stay on that path. Now, they give you a little bit of leeway each way, but it's pretty well go to point B, and here's your road to get there. Where open world is, here's a playground, go play in it.
Yeah.
And that's why single-player games have gotten less interesting over the years, because you don't have any of that freedom.
They can rely... A lot of these games can rely on their open world where they can just put a bunch of crap out there, and they don't have the good story-driven games anymore.
But the top single-player games are linear.
Most of them, yes.
You know, I was looking at statistics probably 6 months ago now, and that, you know, you go and you watch on YouTube or you watch on Twitch, or you're watching people play multiplayer games, RPGs, but that's just the publicized games. The most played games are still single-player games across the board.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Good choice.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah. Wake up.
Okay. It's not going to be on anybody's list. Guaranteed. 360 game. Deus Ex Human Revolution.
You are correct. That is not on mine.
It's on mine.
I could see where people like it, but it...
No, I played it. I just...
You played this one or Mankind Divided?
Mankind Divided.
That wasn't near as good.
Okay.
Human Revolution was... You could play the game how you wanted to play it. Like when I played it, I played the entire game without being detected and without killing anybody. The entire game.
Impressive.
And then I immediately, that moment I beat that, started over and killed everybody.
There you go. That's the way you do it.
Because it was frustrating to play it the other way, but that's super awesome. Upgrading yourself. Before we were worried about computers taking over the world, that was a really cool idea. I don't know if I'd put any upgrades on myself now.
True.
Yeah, they're going to do it for you, apparently.
Right.
Good choice.
I didn't even introduce this. If you don't know by now.
Yeah, you just need to go back and watch one of the other videos.
Pastor Lee, Mike Robinson, Mike Paul, J.R. Paul or Robinson, Shutup Cameron, who found his voice last week. Yeah.
You know us by now.
Yeah, you just know us by now. So
okay. All right, so you're on to number 7.
No.
I'm not giving you in any order.
Number 8.
Oh, okay, number 8. Go on.
Do I have to keep up with order too?
No.
I got to run the whole show and keep up with order too.
Why is there an order? It's just 10 games.
It's 10 games. We don't know where we are if we don't keep up with
I'm
order.
going from like 10 to 1.
All right.
But
Number 8. Gran Turismo.
you took my honorable mention.
I don't know which one. I
I'm doing it out
don't
of order.
remember which one. It was the one that had the Stage X route on it.
That was, I think 1 and 2 both had it.
The best of Gran Turismo, back when I was playing them, was the 2 and 3 era. Gran
2 was-
Turismo 2 and 3.
Oh gosh.
2 to me was the best.
Gran Turismo, but the creator's so anal, he comes out with a game every 10 years.
Yes, because he is very anal about the engine sounds, the handling of the car.
Right. Forza is a good game,
Mhm.
but I think GT is just
To me, Gran Turismo has a different
superior.
feel. Yeah, I agree.
It just is, and I don't know what it is about it because I play Forza. I can't get into Forza like I did Gran Turismo.
Mhm.
Which
Same thing.
Forza are you comparing it to, though? Because you know I'm a
6.
Forza lover. But so it's not Horizon.
5, 6.
It's not Horizon.
No, not Horizon.
No,
Okay.
that's just the
So
same game
the
over again.
last Gran Turismo I played it with you too, and it was what?
That was not good.
It was 6 or something.
That was
6
not
offshoot or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
6
was not
remastered.
good.
Not
Yeah, Sport. Gran
Sport.
Turismo Sport.
That was
yeah.
a real Gran Turismo game.
The
No.
last time I played that, it was unfun because the tuning aspect was not in that
Yeah,
game.
it was not a full
And that is why I play Forza.
Yeah, it was
I'm
not a
building,
full game.
tuning, tweaking, and
Right.
I didn't get to do that in the last Gran Turismo I played.
Right.
Hmm.
But great game. Great
Yeah.
game.
My next one is Unreal Tournament, the original PC version
Never
of
played it.
Unreal Tournament.
You don't even see that game around anymore.
It died. Unreal Tournament Black, like 3 Black came out, and then after that it dropped off face of the planet. But you want to talk about a game back when I was in high school?
Everybody played.
Everybody was, and it was a PC game exclusive. Everybody was playing it. People went and built PCs or was trying to get a hold of PCs just to play that game. I actually,
Yeah.
my good friend in high school was number 3 in the world at Unreal Tournament.
Holy cow.
He was good. So that was just another game that I spent lots of hours on. But once again, it built community. Like I have friendships to this day because of that game.
Yeah.
I met people in that game, and that was just a fantastic game.
Cameron's actually number 3 in fewest games played in history. So he's only
Number 1 in the room.
he's only played like 3 games. I mean,
But he plays Farm Sim, so that's all that counts.
yeah. And he played Breakpoint last night and had a blast. So
Something about Unreal Tournament. Isn't that what our Unreal Engine was built for?
Yes.
Which
The
is
original
Oh,
Unreal
okay.
Engine was
Which
built
is-
for Unreal Tournament.
arguably the best engine still in operation today.
Absolutely. Owned by Epic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I disagree with that.
Unreal? You're
No,
going to say
it's what- it's
Frostbite or
what-
something's
Frostbite
better.
engine, don't say that.
No, it's
That's
whatever
terrible.
Ubisoft uses.
They probably use a version of Unreal.
Mm-mm.
No, they have their own.
They have their own.
It's good, but no, Unreal.
I can't remember what it is. It pops up every time you put Division in.
Yeah. I don't remember what it's called. Division's a good one. Division runs well.
Yeah. All right, go.
I like I said, I'm all out of order. I'm
All
just
right.
going to say the very first shooter I ever played, I entered late into the shooter world.
Uh-oh.
Not until like probably
Mark
2007.
this one off my list. Oh, no. Okay.
2007, Halo 3.
Ooh, you got close, but you didn't get it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
were going to say 2?
2.
No. I liked Halo 3 better. Now, Halo 2 had better multiplayer.
And
Halo
that's-
3 had a better story.
I agreed. And Halo 2 is where we had LAN parties. We would
Yeah.
every weekend
Yep.
we would take all
But
the
you were playing
Xboxes,
multiplayer.
I remember you guys
You
doing
were
that.
dual- you
TVs,
will
and we'd
dual wielding.
load them
Yeah.
up, and we'd go over to a buddy's house, and we'd LAN like 8 Xboxes together.
Yeah. I don't think the multiplayer's been as good as 2 since then.
No, I don't think so either. And
'Cause
three-
that's why
three's
everybody
multiplayer wasn't terrible.
That's why everybody played Master Chief Collection. They go back and play the
Just go
Halo
back
2
and play
modes.
two. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I just don't know why I never could get into that game. I don't know what it is because it's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
It just I had no interest in it whatsoever.
it's not built for everybody.
No?
No.
Good choice. I like Halo 3.
What was the one I played with the squad?
Reach.
Reach?
Reach had the squad.
It had a best ending.
Where you're basically going until you can't go anymore.
You just go until
Yes.
Yeah.
you just
Guns
go till
a-blazing.
you die.
Very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very sad. but-
Yeah, it was a cool ending. My number 7 is a PlayStation game called Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, yeah. Very good game.
I would have to say, it's one of those games. Is it my favorite? Obviously not. But I would have to say Horizon Zero Dawn, if you haven't played it, is probably the perfect game. I can say that. I mean, it's not my favorite, but I think it's a perfect game. I mean, when you look at the action, the fight mechanics, the dialogue, the voice acting of.
Oh yeah, the voice acting was
the video. It was just. It's a perfect game. The story's fantastic. It was great. You play that game and it's like, and it's what, 5-6 years old.
Yeah.
You can put it against anything now.
It just came out. It released for PC last year. Just released for PC and
got re-released
it
on
looks
PS5.
even better
On PC.
on some good hardware.
Oh my
it
gosh.
looks fantastic on PC hardware.
Yeah, they updated it for PS5 too, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know what engine they use.
Their own.
Huh?
Their own.
It's THQ Nordic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just they finally got like the human face right, and it it's not the big bug eyes or anything like that. It's just it's an amazing game.
Andromeda, my face.
Yeah, I think they had eyelids that worked properly in that game.
Yeah, Andromeda couldn't figure it out. BioWare.
My face is tired.
Oh, BioWare, what happened to you?
No, it's a great game. I bought it because of its primary weapon.
The bow.
The bow.
Not surprised.
And the line that she has in there, when somebody's giving her crap about it, she says, "I'm good with the bow."
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. All right, my number 7 is going to be, not everybody's know it, Super Mario 64.
Mario's
3D version, right?
Yes,
Yep.
it was the first 3D Mario. It came out on Nintendo 64.
Third person, like Mario, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But once again, groundbreaking. There
Yeah.
was no other games doing that. And they were the first to take on that genre and just run
You
Great
had
game.
Doom doing first person,
Yes.
but you didn't have a
but
third person.
Not in
entry.
that style.
Yeah.
What they did, because it's still a platformer.
Yeah.
It was an open world, quote, but still a platformer. Great game. It just once again that was one of those. It was between two games. The number one on my list and that game, between buying a Nintendo 64 and buying a PlayStation. When the PlayStation and Nintendo 64 first came out, and you had to choose: do you want cartridge or do you want disc? The disc version is only 32-bit. Hey, Nintendo's got 64-bit.
Yeah.
What do you do? So
The only problem with that game is that awful controller you had to play it with.
it was terrible.
With the three legs.
It was terrible.
Where do you hold this thing at?
But like I said, my number one will describe why I bought a PlayStation and what really got me into gaming in the first place. But we'll save that for
Why you bought a PlayStation? All right. Since you listed your Nintendo game, I'll list the only Nintendo game on my list. That's Mario Kart.
I knew that was coming.
The original Mario
Because he's
Kart.
a cheater at Mario Kart. You can't beat him because he cheats.
I'm extremely good. There's a difference between
No,
that
he
and
cheats.
cheating.
cheats.
Borderline Professional played that game for a while. So
He cheats.
How do you cheat?
You just need to race him one time. You'd be like, you're cheating. There's no other way. He's that far ahead.
You beat Mike in a racing game?
I don't want to talk. We're not talking.
we
about
played
that.
for 2 hours and I lost 2 races.
We're not going to talk about
Oh
that.
my gosh.
3 races maybe? Yeah.
We're not talking about that.
I can beat him in Wreckfest. That's about it. I can't beat him in any other game. That's
We're
a
not
good game
talking
too.
about that.
I need to play that game.
So Mario Kart, the original split screen. So many hours lost with me and my cousin sitting there.
64 or NES?
NES.
Or Super NES.
So not
yeah.
Super Mario Kart, Mario Kart.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
actual. Okay.
So
Good
we're
call.
all sitting around on your 27-inch TV,
Yep.
split 4 ways,
Yep.
this far from
You
it.
had a
Yep.
27-inch television?
Hey, rich.
Well, I'm a little younger
We're
than you.
rich.
Yeah. I'm a little younger than you.
When I got married, I had a 17-inch television that sat about where that board is over there.
I had a 32 flat screen.
That's my
It was with the flat glass.
Was it wide?
No, it was huge, but it was a flat
Right.
tube. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Our first TV was we got married, we had a 27-inch square, but within months we had a 57-inch flat screen wide. So
Nice.
it was like our first stupid purchase.
Yeah,
Yeah.
been there, done that.
We don't have, all of people of my generation, we don't have glasses because we're just old. It's just because the televisions
this
we
far from
watched back in.
television.
Right.
Yeah.
But you could pick them up and take them anywhere you want to go. So if you want to go out on the deck and watch television, just grab it, pick it up, take it
Between
out.
that and another split screen game, which I won't mention in case it's on somebody's list, we didn't stand a chance. Same
Yeah.
era.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how did we play split screen on one of those televisions?
We did, and we loved it. We loved
Now
it.
we
Well,
now
But they didn't do shooters back then.
Now we're like, you bring your Xbox because I don't want to share the screen.
and
Right.
it could be a 75-inch TV. You still don't want to split
You
it.
don't want to split
No, heck no. There's no way. I think with those size televisions, though, you do split screen, it's very distracting
it. Yes.
because
And And you cheat. You look at their screen.
That's how JR wins.
My number 6, back when BioWare knew what they were doing, Dragon Age 2.
Yes. That is probably the most hated Dragon Age out of all of them, too.
Yeah. Origins was ported from PC to console, didn't play that well.
Yes.
Dragon Age, just a fantastic story. Mm-hmm. And the cool thing about Dragon Age is that they use a different protagonist every one that they do. And so it's not the same character, but they take somebody who doesn't want to be a hero and make him a hero. And it's back when BioWare knew how to, before Anthem, before Andromeda.
Yes.
When they were the kings of single player, and they knew how to do it, and it's one of those games. If you never played, they don't have them out now, but if you ever played a true RPG to where every dialogue is a decision, and I thought about that. I was thinking about this the other day for some stupid reason. You think about weird things when you're on the toilet, but do you imagine how much dialogue you have to do to account for every decision that can be made? I watch videos of games, and they're like, we're going to show you all the hidden dialogue that you missed.
It's ridiculous.
And it's like a 30-minute video because we've played the games over and over again and still don't get that stuff because you didn't make this particular decision.
Yep.
It's just amazing the amount of effort that went into those games.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when BioWare was making another one of their trilogies, I won't mention it in case it's on a list.
Yeah.
Oh, I know it is.
It's like they spent 3 years in between each game just trying to make sure that they can bring everybody's decisions into something coherently.
Yeah.
And the series ended against other people's sort of desires because they had to do that. They had to rein everybody back in. They've been making decisions for 10 years.
Yeah.
They don't do any games like that anymore.
No.
Nobody.
It's like Fortnite. They just throw a bunch of cartoon characters out there and say kill one another.
Yeah, they just throw it out there like Call of Duty. Throw it out there for 6 months. People buy it.
Fortnite is not on our list.
No.
Yeah, it made nobody's list.
No, it is not.
It made nobody's list, folks. So all you little fanboys go home and cry.
There's no battle royales on anybody's list.
No. We're true gamers.
So my next is Diablo II.
Oh, okay. Did
Diablo,
you like the remastered?
The remastered was good, but it wasn't enough to bring me back for a whole nother. Let's invest 5,000 hours in it again.
Did you play it or did you refund it?
I actually refunded it for Xbox because of my high dollar awesome Xbox was capped at 30 frames a second. And I was like, if
you
I
refunded it, but you bought it on PC.
I bought it. I was going to buy it on PC. I did not. I have not yet. But the original
PC player.
Yes, the original Diablo 2, fantastic. I played the tar out of that game.
I never played it, but I'm sure it was good.
It was a little. 3 kind of spoiled you a little bit. 3 was more of the hack and slash style. So, but Diablo 2 on my list.
Good, nice,
fantastic game.
Go.
Diablo 2. Okay, let's do something that's going to be. It was a 5-hour game.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
5-hour campaign, masked in with a revolutionary or at least different multiplayer experience. It's Titanfall 2.
Oh, that's not where you were going. Nice.
Titanfall 2 is only a 5-hour campaign,
and it is the best shooter campaign you will play.
Yeah.
Really?
Shooter campaign.
Yeah.
When you say shoot, now I'm not talking about a looter shooter
Because
like a Destiny or a Borderlands.
Drag out.
Right.
It gets to the point.
Like a campaign shooter, like a Call of Duty or a Battlefield. This is the best one you'll play.
Okay. Yeah. I've heard good things about it. I've never played it. I played it for a little while, but never finished the game.
The multiplayer was phenomenal too.
Yep.
It was never truly. It never truly got to where it needed to be because not enough people played it.
Mm-mm.
It for some reason it just fell dead.
They launched in November.
Along with
right when a new Call of Duty and a new Destiny comes out.
Can you do the campaign with multiplayer?
No, that's how the first one worked. Your campaign was actually multiplayer missions, but in the second game, there's a dedicated story campaign. It's great.
Single player campaign.
Yep. Once again.
My number 5. We haven't had any redundant ones.
Not yet.
I've skipped a couple because of it.
Okay.
I've been very careful with my choosing when we did this.
My number 5 is Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yes.
And that's probably only because you didn't play the earlier ones.
I didn't play the early ones.
Yeah.
No.
You need to.
But no, I don't want to go back to because it's like once you play it with those fight mechanics in Origins and Odyssey, I don't think I could go back and
'Cause
play the other
Origins
ones.
was the first Assassin's Creed where they went to that
It
style.
was open world,
Yeah, that style
That
mechanic.
fighting
rarity
style.
weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bows,
Yeah.
lots of bows.
Yeah.
But just, I'm fascinated by the desert, just the mystery, the beauty of it. Just a great story. Once again, it's up there with Horizon Zero Dawn. Not one of my favorite games of all time, but almost perfect. Odyssey was a great game, but it was kind of like Origins had already done it.
Yeah.
And Origins is just a fantastic story, and it's literally the beginning of the Assassin's Creed Guild. And
So Origins took away a staple game mechanic from the Assassin's Creed storyline. There's no hidden blade in Origins, and that was
yes, there is.
a bit of ridiculous. No,
I thought it was Odyssey. There was.
it came back in Odyssey. It was
Came back in Odyssey.
it was gone in Origins, which is like groundbreaking.
No, he didn't, because he cut his finger off. He used it the first time that he used it. He cut his finger off. Remember that in Origins?
I don't remember in Origins. I remember that happening in the old games.
Yeah, the first time he uses it in Origins, he cuts his finger off.
I don't remember. It's been a long time since.
Because I remember he's sitting there thinking, how in the world does he climb like he does? And he's missing this finger.
Doesn't have no fingers.
I will say this about the Assassin's Creed: some of the best game mechanics were in the very worst game. Did you play Assassin's Creed 3? I know you did.
Oh yes.
The Indian one where you were Connor, right?
It was all right.
It was the worst story. It was the bottom of the storyline, right? It was the worst, the lowest point it can get. But you could carry twin tomahawks, which was like the best fighting mechanic that you could ever ask for. The fluidness of that was just awesome. And you get to do it a little bit in the new one, but not like that.
I remember my son playing the early ones.
Yeah.
And just being fascinated by how beautiful they were.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, when the first Assassin's Creed came out, it was beautiful.
Especially he was into the colonial one.
Oh yeah.
And just walking through the streets and just the hundreds of people you could actually talk to.
Yeah.
And it was just something else. Unreal.
Easily some of the best looking games on 360.
Oh,
the
agreed.
first one,
100%.
especially.
All right. So I'm gonna have to take this one out because you already said Halo. So
You can do a different one. You
gonna-
want to do
we're
Halo
gonna-
2.
I'm gonna replace it. I'm gonna say Twisted Metal 2.
Oh, great.
Twisted Metal, one of them. Please bring back the Twisted Metal
Yes,
series.
yes.
Didn't it
Where
come
did
back
it
for some
go?
sort of little spin-off?
It came back for like Twisted Metal Black or whatever.
I
on
like
PlayStation
Twisted Metal
3.
Black.
It was good, but why did they stop? Fantastic game series. You get
It
to
was,
drive
man.
around in vehicles and blow crap up.
I played that game.
That was a
Oh.
great game.
Yeah.
He played one.
How hard could it be to bring it back?
I played hours.
It's a licensing issue, I think. The developer that owns that, if I remember correctly.
That could be.
Really?
Twisted Metal 2 was my favorite. You had Axel, the dude with the two big wheels.
Oh,
and
gosh.
they-
I remember feeling sorry for him
yeah.
because he just had two tires.
They had
for arms.
it was a very dark story.
Oh
For a
my
game
gosh!
that was based towards kids. It was a very dark.
Black
Sweet
was
Tooth,
even worse.
Sweet Tooth.
Oh
like,
my
he
gosh!
Was the devil incarnate. So don't pay attention to the story, but the game, great game.
Just play the
Fun
game,
gameplay.
the backstory.
Yeah, great
Don't
gameplay.
even watch that. That was gosh,
and
that was
if you
horrible.
on Twisted Metal 2, if you put it on easy, and you got to the mid boss, which is Minion, the dude in the tank, and you beat it, it would start you over because it said you're on easy, man up. It would start the game over.
Good game.
Hard lesson right there. But
Yeah.
yeah, love that game.
All right, go.
This one's not on anybody's list. I know it because I don't think you guys like stealth games as much as I do.
I despise stealth games.
This game was the first game I played that had any level of choice in it. This is Splinter Cell Double Agent.
Oh,
Not normally one of the better Splinter Cells when it comes to people's opinions. But this game, you're in jail, you're in prison. You've been sent there by your agency. And the whole game you're playing, you can either side with the inmates, the people that you're spying on, or with your agency. And the whole time you have this meter up in the top that's like your
Like good or
alliance,
bad.
whether you've been sold out or whether you're sticking to your agenda is very cool. And so the game could progress and end differently depending on how you sway.
who does his voice? Is that Michael Ironside? Is
Yep,
that his name?
Ironside.
Yeah.
Used to be. I don't think he did the most recent game, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that
He's in some
that
newer
sounds
games.
fun.
yeah.
I don't even like stealth games, but that sounds interesting. I would
And that
even
one was
try
less
that.
stealthy because you were in a prison full of people all the time. I
True.
mean,
That would probably make that would be good for me.
Speaking of, my number 4, kind of a stealth game, depending on how you want to play it. Tom Clancy Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Yes, he said it.
Yes.
how many Tom Clancy games you got? Just one?
No.
Okay. Just checking.
Wildlands, by far one of my favorite, not just Tom Clancy games, but one of my favorite shooter war type.
It's a game that's got everything in it.
It's
open world.
It was mind blowing.
Helicopters, boats, cars, run and gun, taking out drug lords.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hoot with other people. It is so much fun. And he played a little bit of Breakpoint last night. Breakpoint's gotten a lot better.
From its initial release, yes.
Yeah, it's got a lot more content. He loved it, thought it was great.
Yeah, it's a good game.
And it's just so much fun just to get with guys and just yell at JR all the time. Because I'm sitting there last night. I'm the guy that likes, I want to go loud all the time.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. JR, he wants to snipe people. And so he's sitting back there and he's shooting people, and Cameron can't even get a shot lined up because JR's taking all the shots. I actually went to a camp and I said, we're going to let Cameron clear this camp. Because JR just up on a hill going, well, I'm just going to kill everybody. And then he misses a shot, and next thing you know, then I had to go in. But I'm sitting there last night I'm playing, and I'm down. We're storming a hospital, and I'm down hidden in the brush, waiting for those guys to pick off everybody they can pick off before I go in. And all of a sudden, I see Leroy Jenkins flying by me. And he's like, follow me to the quad, guys. He runs by, and next thing I know, he's like, I'm dead. And I'm like, what are you doing?
It's Leroy Jenkins.
And he's like, he went out and he goes into the middle of the hospital. What did you call it?
The courtyard?
The courtyard, where every enemy is. And he gets killed. And I'm like, you need to tell me when you're going loud. Then I'll go.
I thought I was following you. You said you wasn't there, though.
I was in the grass. You went right by me. And I'm like, where's that fool going? And he's like, oh, Leroy Jenkins.
Sniper belongs in the weeds.
He go in there and he gets killed. Mm-hmm. So
that's what happens when we don't.
Wildlands is great. Great game.
Well,
we'll get you. We'll play that one later on.
Ghost Recon was getting it right before we even had like multiplayer functionality like that, like squad things. Like if you go back to just plain old Ghost Recon or Advanced Warfighter 1 and 2, they were great games.
Was great.
Before we could squad up even.
Yeah.
Other than split screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're just that game just came out and you're like, what is this witchcraft? It's just fantastic, man. Great game.
All right, Resident Evil 7. I know.
Oh wow, that's a recent one.
It is a recent one. I've always been a fan of Resident Evil series, but when they switched it up in 7 and went to the first-person dynamic, it got way creepier.
Gosh, yes.
And
I can't play that game.
The storyline with that game, that was one of the few Resident Evils that I actually played from start to finish and could not put it down.
Is that the most recent one, or is there another one?
No, Village is the newest one. Village was, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't great. 7 was that game that was like, wow. They changed the genre. They changed it. People got mad that they changed it, but once they played it, they were like, oh wow, this is where it's at.
Plus, if I remember, so I bought 7 in an attempt to play it. I just not played it yet. Is it that game is based in darkness, right? A lot of creeping around in the darkness, flashlight stuff.
It's not as
jump
much
scares.
It's not as much like the other ones were. Okay, here's your supplies. You have very few supplies, and you have a lot of zombies. You got to figure it out. This game was more clues, finding ways through the house and stuff like that. It was.
But if I played the intro for like 10 minutes, and what I noticed is playing on a newer console with a better monitor, taking advantage of HDR and stuff like that. When it's dark. It's dark. And I don't think they could have done that in older Resident Evil games.
I am here to say, do it in VR.
I can't imagine.
Is a blast playing that in VR.
No
VR,
way.
As long as there's no buttholes in the room, that when you're getting ready to get a jump scare, they try to grab your shoulders or something.
Oh my gosh.
Because it makes you want to poop yourself. So if you want a game that makes you want to poop yourself, that's it in VR.
In my age, I can't play those games. So. Go ahead.
All right, another game that Microsoft now owns, since they own almost everything after today. Sorry. A game I spent hundreds of hours in and didn't like its sequels, Fallout 3.
Over New New Vegas?
Yep, I quit New Vegas a couple hours in. It felt like more of the same of Fallout 3, and I wanted something new. But I played Fallout 3 and every piece of its DLC for months.
You're excused then because
Fallout 3 was great.
Yep.
I don't like the way Bethesda does video games. I just don't. I Fallout and Skyrim, I don't like the way that those games are.
Love them.
I mean, I'm not talking about content. I'm just talking about
the way they
look. They look the same. And
because they've been using the same engine for 100 years.
I mean, once you play,
man, I can't wait for Starfield.
Once you play like am I saying it right? Ubisoft? Is that how you say it?
They would say Ubisoft.
Ubisoft. Ubisoft, because they're French.
Yeah.
Once you play one of those games, it's hard to go back and play something else because you're just like, oh my gosh. But graphic-wise, I never could get into it.
See, to me, I could play a game with 8-bit graphics as long as it's got a story that can draw me. I get drawn by a story.
I get that.
Do anything.
I'm just tired of kind of the post-apocalyptic stuff.
Yeah, well, you can get used to it. More's coming.
Yeah, that's true. Not
coming to real life.
Not
soon.
in Uranus. It's not.
Not in Uranus.
So
it's always sunshine.
The land of Uranus. Go.
It's you. I did Fallout 3.
Oh, did you? All right. This is not going to be a shock to anybody at this table.
No.
Division.
Wow.
Division number 3.
No. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, he's not a true believer.
It's all right.
Tom Clancy's Division, fantastic story. I'm doing 1, not 2.
The first one.
The first one.
Oh,
okay, it didn't run near as good as the second one, though.
That changes things.
Okay.
The first one was pretty epic when it first came out because that was
the story. The story is kind of ironic because it's based in New York City. A virus has been unleashed on Black Friday. The whole city is destroyed. Gangs have taken over, and you're part of a special operative. You're a special operative who is called in to take order back. Yeah. When chaos has ensued, and it's just, it's one of those games you just have fond memories of, especially just going down to Times Square when it's deserted, snow is falling. It was set in winter, and it was beautiful.
The graphics on that,
gosh,
for his time were
for
a multiplayer
unreal
game like that were great.
Division 2 is not as good. They're just so much novelty, but it's one of those games. We talk about these games a lot. It's just one of those games when it comes out, it's so groundbreaking. Mm-hmm. You just got to. It's got to be up there.
You can't recapture that feeling sometimes.
No, absolutely not.
It was groundbreaking. The Division 2 runs better, looks better, plays better. It has issues that all other looter games have, and that's putting the loot that you want in places you don't want to go get it at. Mm-hmm. Right? Like raid stuff. That raid was useless, right? It was unplayable when it came out. Maybe it's playable today. I don't know. We've not tried in 2 years, but but just loot progression or loot acquiring. Destiny struggles with this. It's like they just can't figure out how to make getting loot fun anymore. Borderlands does it really good.
Anthem did a great job at that.
Good at not giving you what you want. Yeah, but that's what I said. All of the looter shooters in the last year, except for Borderlands, have suffered from that. Yeah, making it not fun to grind for weapons anymore. Borderlands did okay with its most recent thing. They have other issues, but
Anthem could have been a great game.
Yeah,
it should have been.
It should have been.
They dropped the ball hard.
The fight mechanics are fantastic.
Yeah.
But they just
feel like Iron Man when you're playing.
I know, but it's just gosh.
I was Iron Man. I was a flying warlock. So.
That was once again BioWare. Andromeda destroyed BioWare. So
all right, Ghost of Tsushima.
Really,
Tsushima.
I say Tsushima.
You're number 3.
That is my number 3. Talk about a game. I told you there's going to be a couple new ones on there. It's going to surprise
people.
That's
nice.
Ghost of Tsushima was not only gorgeous,
beautiful game
for the PlayStation 4. You're talking end of the PlayStation 4. Yeah. One of the last games to come out for that generation, and they knocked it out of the park graphics wise.
Beautiful game,
phenomenal. It looked great, had a fantastic story. The replayability was there. It just had mechanics that you didn't see in other games. You could sneak, you could do, it just all around fantastic game. Like I said, it's on my list higher than God of War, and I loved God of War. But Ghost of Tsushima,
not from a big company either.
No, little company came out, and the expansions that they gave you for free, the multiplayer and everything. Once you bought the game, they were like, okay, we're going to release this stuff later, and it wasn't just patched on. It
Yeah.
was fully thought through multiplayer that they put in that game later on.
Outriders
So,
didn't figure that out, did they?
yeah.
They're still making stuff.
They
for that,
have
I
a
think.
problem. There's
It's coming out soon. Actually.
There's a problem with, like you said, you touched on it, but the looter shooters, the loot progression. That's why you play, to loot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the creators of these games would be like, oh, they really want this, make it really hard.
It's like
Yeah,
there's,
it's
but
like
there's,
So they keep coming back.
but there's
to
like when they put these games out, there's no in-game plan. Like Anthem's no in-game. Outriders, there was no in-game.
yeah.
Oh, we got all these people playing the game. They get to the end. If you're not familiar with video games, you play the story, but you have to have what's called an end game, where when you get there, there's always something that will keep your interest in the game.
Yeah. They want you to come back so you'll buy their microtransactions.
Right. Not like it used to be though. You play the game when you got done, and the credits
like,
started
oh,
rolling.
cool.
That was it,
Is
and
that
you
it?
put
What's
you know,
next?
and you went over and
Yeah.
fixed dinner, and you were done with it. And but I mean, they're going to continue to do this stuff, but it's all cash grab anyway. But that's
Yeah.
why they do it. But you got to make it worth your while. And you're right. Don't put it behind something that's just impossible to get to, because if you want to play, like in the Division, if you want to do the raid, you have to have 7 other people.
That's
Yeah.
silly.
There's only 8 people playing the game now, actually.
Yeah.
They don't want to play with me.
Right, and so there's no way. Yeah, and we sucked at that. Well, gosh, that was pitiful.
We pounded at the first boss.
But
for
now we
like
know why we
2
sucked
hours.
at it. You know why? Because who was leading us?
I don't remember
The name we shall not speak of, Mr. Destiny Warlord.
Mm.
Destiny Warlord.
Yeah, I'm sure Mike didn't pick that up.
That might pick that up.
Yeah, I don't. I
Oh,
don't care.
well.
He doesn't watch the show
Yeah,
anyway.
it
It don't
doesn't
matter.
You don't know about it. Well, he might.
But that's
Was he leading that pack that day?
yeah. He was the one telling us what to do.
You know what?
That's why we didn't make it.
We want to talk about that. We were playing that because I bought that for him. And we're just going to leave that there for
that's so
Holy
nice of you.
cow.
That was stupid.
All right, go. Sorry.
So the game you just mentioned Tsushima,
Yep.
right? There's no PlayStation games on my list, right? Because I only buy games on PlayStation that are supposedly really good.
And you never played them.
Right. Horizon Zero Dawn, love the game, never finished it.
Mm.
Tsushima, love the game, never finished it. Both of those games are massive, right?
No, yes.
Like there's like 3 islands on Tsushima.
Oh,
I
yeah,
played the first island for 20 some hours. Great
Yeah.
game. Never finished it. Probably will one of these days, but it is a great game. And the fact that I own it means that, because I only buy really good games
That's true, yeah.
for my PlayStation that I never play.
Yeah.
So I will list the game that you don't like because of who makes it, and the game that you wouldn't list for whatever reason, and it has to be Skyrim. Everybody that plays video games knows that this is the only game we bought every year for a decade.
I have bought like 15 copies of it.
Well, at least 10,
I
because it's
mean,
came out 10
Yeah,
times.
yeah, however many times it came out, all except one. I didn't buy it on the Switch. That was the only one I didn't buy it on.
I'm sure there was a version for Xbox.
I bought
Yeah.
it on
here, too.
VR. I bought it twice for Xbox, twice for PlayStation, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360.
You know, and it's like this rumor going around, because I played the game last year, part of it, and I felt like I was playing things I didn't see 10 years ago.
Yes.
Right. And it's like a conspiracy rumor that they're adding things in with downloadable updates, like little side quests that nobody ever
Yeah.
knew about.
Oh,
10 years
They
later.
almost have to be, because I've played that game. I've replayed that game so many times and go,
Yeah.
I don't remember this at all.
But
Yeah.
Skyrim was groundbreaking. There had
Oh,
never been a game
absolutely.
that huge.
And I don't think there ever will be again. I
No.
think that was a,
Well, and I think Elder Scrolls Online doesn't play well. They needed to not have
No.
MMO,
oh, it's
but
terrible.
it's like 40 times the size of Skyrim.
Yeah.
Its map
But
is.
you would never
anyways.
know it because it's terrible. And only the hardcore people play.
Yeah, it was some game. It was just amazing. Because then when it came out, I can't think of anything else that was.
There's nothing comparable.
There was no open world.
No. There's nothing comparable to that one.
No,
Nothing with that freedom like that and a map that
even
size.
even
No.
Fable was linear.
Yeah.
Can't think of anything. Yeah, there wasn't anything. It was just
Well,
it was unreal.
And then even with open world games, there's always some waypoint that you're following, right?
Yes.
Even though you get to walk there however you want, with Skyrim, you could just walk off in any direction for an hour
Yeah,
and not hit a barrier and discover side quests that you didn't even know were there.
Yeah.
Just walking around.
And before you know it, you have a
40.
whole list full of side quests. You're like, I have no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
And
to
your
restart the game.
main quest is down the bottom. You never do it. Yeah.
yeah. 35 things you have to do.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I once again love the game.
Yeah.
I figured somebody was going to say it. That's why it wasn't on my
Mm.
list. I didn't want to have to repeat.
All right, my number 2, Dragon Age Inquisition
Oh, what was the other Dragon Age you mentioned?
2.
Two.
This is
Oh.
3.
One I
This
could
is
not-
technically 3.
One I could just not get into.
Where is Origins in there?
Like I said, it was ported over from PC. Didn't play well.
Was that earlier than?
Earlier than 2, yes.
Oh, okay.
It plays
Because I
well
tried to
on PC.
play
Yeah.
Origins and I didn't like it.
No.
Yeah.
Dragon
plays
Age
good on
3, just the story is just fantastic. And once again, it's one of those games where you could just tell there's a lot of love that went into it, and all the dialogue choices and the thousands of options you can do, the thousands of options. I mean, the thing about these, and these guys know, you play these games and the choices that you make affect the outcome of what's going to happen down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be very careful in how you talk to people, the things that you say to them, because it can come back and have video game world consequences down the road. So it was just fascinating. Dragon Age Inquisition, they added the DLCs. They were free as well.
Yep.
And you bought the game, and they were just going to, here's the DLC, and that's what they would do.
Man, I missed that.
Yeah. And so just fantastic game. And once again, they took a character that you didn't know about before, and now he becomes the Grand Inquisitor, whatever they called it.
Nice.
All right, good.
Witcher 3.
Is this number 2? Is that what you're on?
Yeah, we're on number 2. Witcher 3.
Wild Hunt.
Wild Hunt. I had a real hard time. If I hadn't such an emotional attachment to my number 1, it would have been my number 1. But Witcher 3, the story of Geralt, I played Witcher 2. Witcher 2 was a good game. It did not flow as well. It was not made as well. Witcher 3, they just completely blew that open. Open world, go wherever you want, whenever you want. The story, there's so many different story arcs you can get into, and then chasing down all the monsters and the myths that go with the monsters, and figuring out what weapons and what potions to use with all the different stuff. Just, I mean, you could sink 300-400 hours in that game if you wanted to.
What company did that?
CD Projekt Red.
Have they done what
Back
else?
when they were good.
Well, they were supposed to make Cyberpunk good, but they fell short.
failed.
Oh my
epically
gosh,
at
that's the same
Cyberpunk.
company?
Yeah.
Yep.
Holy
Well,
cow.
In
What
their
a
defense,
disaster.
The Witcher launched as bad as Cyberpunk did.
It did.
But they fixed it.
It was very buggy when it first came out, but within 2 weeks they had that game operating smooth.
Good.
And once again, all DLCs free.
Well, because it launched
the original
bad.
DLCs.
Because it launched bad.
When they had the big DLCs, you paid, I think it was $10 for the big DLC, but the big DLC was another 20 plus hours of content. It wasn't like you were getting a 2-hour content package. You were getting almost another game. But yeah, Witcher 3, and by the way, Henry Cavill, fantastic job.
Yeah, he is good. He is good. I'll give you that. All right, go. We're doing good, man. So far, we haven't got nothing going on.
I know.
Well, I've skipped a couple.
We've been picking
from you guys, but I don't know if we're on number 2.
We're on number 2.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I have to put. Because I suspect that one of these games might be on your list, so I'm going to pick a section of them so we can both.
All right, that's
so we
fine.
can both exist.
Okay.
It's a series, but the best part of the series is the end of the second game and the beginning of the third game, and that would be Mass Effect.
Mass Effect.
The end of 2, the beginning of 3.
That's why I didn't put it on mine.
That's where I'm putting it.
That's why I didn't.
Well, I'll change because I could have gone either way. My number 1 game is Mass Effect 2.
Oh, on your list today?
Yeah, and we just kind of need our own section for Mass Effect 2.
I agree.
Because just one of the greatest games.
Mass Effect 2 would have been in my top 10 if I would have not.
You would have known we were going to do it.
Were gonna pick it.
I just to Shepard is the most iconic character. Now, granted, I didn't play Halo, but I would say even more than Master Chief. But Shepard is just you ride with this guy through 3.
I'm picking Shepard over.
Some of that is because you got to create your Shepard, though.
Yes.
You got to pick what he looked like. You got to pick, all the stuff.
His background to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Right. And it's one of those where you can make. If you've never played the game, you can go through the game. You can be a paragon. You can be a saint, or you can just go through the game smacking everybody you see and be a renegade. And just once again, the choices, and you're just like, I remember playing it and you're like, oh my gosh, I made the wrong choice there. Got to go back and start over. And
had my last save 4 hours ago.
Yeah. Yeah. But not just that, just the whole story, the whole lore around the story is just fantastic.
Well thought out.
So you're saying the end of 2 with the Reapers?
Yeah, well, the Reapers are in all the games.
I'm trying to remember the end of 2.
The end of 2 is where you go on your
It's
suicide mission.
But if
Oh
you
my
did all
gosh,
your,
great.
Yeah, if you did
And
all
then
the quests.
Your squad lives or dies based on your standing with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was.
Did you ever play it where everybody died?
I watched the video of a guy who
You tried
did
to
it.
do that, didn't you?
Huh?
Didn't you say you were going to try to do that with your most recent
I
play?
can't do it. I'm too
I
much of a
tried,
paragon.
and I still had like 3 people live, and I'm like, how did they live? I don't even know how they live.
So this is the only game series I think, outside of the one I'm going to list in a minute, that I've played with a long, like at least 80 hours in each game, at least. And that's one playthrough. And I played all 3 of the Mass Effects twice.
Yeah.
I played them all Paragon. I played them all Renegade, because when you're doing your Paragon list, you know, we didn't always have like phones at our corner, but you had like a notebook. And it's like, when I come through here as a Renegade, I'm punching you. You know, you're making a list of the things you're going to do the second time you play it. And that's what I did. Like the reporter I punched her in both.
Okay, I wasn't that hardcore, but
the reporter gets punched in both
Oh
playthroughs,
yeah,
so.
it doesn't matter. She's
Dear
getting punished.
Diary,
Yeah.
punch reporter.
Yeah, but I play. So I wanted to get all sort of dialogue options, which you can't anyways with 2 playthroughs. But I played good and bad both stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But just the whole Reaper invasion, all that stuff that was taking place, even Sovereign at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I played the first one just recently with the new stuff.
You mean with Saren?
With Saren, but Saren and Sovereign, but just a fantastic story.
Mm-hmm.
BioWare at their peak right there.
Yeah, will never be like that again.
They'll never be like that again. But just tremendous. I can't say enough good things about it. I'm sorry I took away your.
You're fine.
You
went from number 2 to your number 1. You're fine.
Yeah, that is a nice transition.
Yeah, that was.
I could even move my favorite to Mass Effect 1, which would not be most people's favorite.
Now your guys are going to argue with me, but I could have put 3 on this list. I could.
3. I personally didn't have a problem with the way 3 ended.
I like the majority of 3.
I didn't like it, but I was like, it's their game.
I never would have put a game on a list just because of a DLC, but when they came out with the party DLC,
where was it Grunt? He was
when Grunt's drunk in the shower, it's just
it tied it together.
It tied it all together, and you've gone through all these hours with these characters, and you finally come together, and it was just they just tied it up so well.
Yep. And
then they killed Shepard, and that's when BioWare went down.
It is.
It was the curse of killing Shepard.
Because they should have never. They should have never listened to everybody that was complaining. They should have just left it the way it was. But when they tried to fix it, now they're catering to people and not doing their own thing. And next thing you know, now they're going to cater to everybody.
That's what I was talking about earlier, though. They had spent the better part of 9 years developing these games where you could make any decision you wanted to, and everybody was just like branched out so wide. And BioWare's like, we have to create some sort of canon.
Yeah.
We have to bring it back together if we want to have a future in the game. He goes, we can't just start the next trilogy with all these possibilities. And nobody liked that. Yeah. And it doesn't matter. The game doesn't have to be what I wanted it to be. They made it.
Exactly. They made it.
You know?
Yeah.
Right. But I why would you do that, especially in light of, now Resident Evil doesn't have characters that carry over.
Sometimes.
No. They do the first, like 1, 2, and 3, Jill Valentine, all that.
Oh, that's true.
They did. But they weren't the main characters.
And you
never played the same main character.
And your number 1 series, which I know what it is, does not carry over.
No, none of them did.
None of them did. This is a very rare game because you've got a character other than Master Chief
who has fallen. Yes.
Well,
Master Chief didn't have much personality.
No, he did not.
He was like,
and he's also hinted at in what would be Mass Effect 4 too. So
true.
By the way, which won't be out till 2025. I'll be dead by that time. But I'm too old.
Not in Uranus.
Well, not in Uranus.
Not in
I'm
Uranus.
gonna live forever.
Not if Microsoft.
I'm gonna live forever in Uranus.
Not if Microsoft buys EA next year.
Puts heat to them.
I hope they do. I hope
they
light a fire underneath them.
Yeah.
I mean, they really do, but they need to bring it back. I'm serious. I would just bring it back and just say, like, screw all you guys. We're going to bring it back.
They're working on something. That team's working on something else, aren't they?
The new Star Wars. No, that's Ubisoft.
Yes, Ubisoft there.
They are working on something, but I don't know what it is.
Your Dragon Age, I think.
They're doing the Dragon Age 4.
I think that comes first.
And they've put everything into Dragon Age 4, so it better be good, bud.
If it comes out.
If it comes out.
Yeah, ever.
All right, go.
All right, well, my
Your
number
number
one's
one.
not going to be a surprise. Final Fantasy VII.
Boom, there it
The
is.
original. The remake was fantastic for PlayStation 4. If you haven't played it, play it. Great game. But that is, I remember vividly, my mom worked at the video store, so they had a 64 you could rent and a PlayStation you could rent. And I saved all my pennies and my dimes, and I was going to buy one of them, but I couldn't decide which one. And I really liked Super Mario 64. That was fun, and they had some other cool games with it. And I was like, I think I'm going to get 64. And I went over to my buddy's house, and he just so happened to have a PlayStation, and he was playing Final Fantasy VII. And I watched in awe of that game.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm buying a PlayStation. I literally bought a PlayStation just to play Final Fantasy VII. And then that's how I got into the Gran Turismos and the stuff like that. But
Was it still turn-based back then?
it was turn-based. Yeah, it was turn-based, but it was, once again, you're going to talk about groundbreaking.
That's why I never played any of those
Graphics
games.
And just, it was fantastic. And the storyline in that game, once again, for the PlayStation era days, having a game with 100-plus hours of gameplay was unheard of. On 3 disc. I mean, that was just
the old disc.
unheard of.
discs.
Yeah, but
What's a disc?
Insert disc 2. You're like, oh, okay.
Oh, wow, this is great.
Yeah,
Played that game.
it's so big.
Did play that game.
Fantastic game. If you,
Excuse me.
you go play it, don't play the remake was good, but find the original. You
I
can
like the
get it in
remake.
ROMs and all stuff. The remake was good.
I can't get over the Japanese anime
Oh yeah,
where the sword is as big
and his
as the
hair is
guy.
like all spiky,
Yeah.
and huge.
Yeah.
yeah,
Beautiful game though.
but yeah, loved it. All right,
This is I don't know. Do you know?
You know
his
what
number
this is.
one.
Oh, really? Are you serious?
I'm not doing number 1 to 10.
It's gonna be Destiny.
now let's think about this.
Are you
Does-
really going to put that number 1?
There is no
has
number
to.
1. There's just 10 games.
He
I
has
told you
to.
that. I've been doing mine all out of order so you guys wouldn't take them.
He has to.
It's Destiny.
Now, you have to realize the game I'm about to mention, is it the best game ever made? No, it's not.
No.
Is it my favorite game? No, it's not. I listed 9 others before it. Okay?
I thought you said you weren't doing it in order.
It doesn't matter. I
Busted.
did not do them in order. It's not even at the top of my list. It's in the middle.
Just say it.
A game that has to be on the list because I have invested nearly 5,000 hours at this point.
I wouldn't tell people
That's almost like my
Over the
honorable
course
mention's gonna be.
of 7 to 8 years, it's taken 5,000 hours of my playtime. It has to be on the list. It's Destiny. Not Destiny 2, not Destiny 1, just Destiny as a property.
Nice.
Now, it's not my favorite game, especially in the state it is right now. It's not fun for me. But it's worth mentioning because it's the game I played the most for the last decade.
I think when it first came out, it was groundbreaking.
It was. It was Halo Online.
Yes.
I mean, that's basically
Literally,
what it came down
same
to.
developer.
Yeah, it was Halo Online.
But really, after 10 years, you're just kind of like,
Do something.
we're out of ideas. We can't do anything.
Well, and they are. Until February when the new content drops, I'll probably play it again for a month. But I will be able to play everything that they offer in 30 days.
Yeah.
And it was like about 6 months ago, we were firing it up, and it's like, what are we doing tonight? Oh yeah, let's get our bounties and do those again. And it's like, I've been doing this for 7 years.
Yeah.
I'm tired of doing bounties. I'm tired of chasing. When I put Gallagher back in the game, it's this big long quest. You got to do all this. Just get it done.
I never.
I deserve it at this point. 5,000
It's like,
hours.
look how much time I put in.
I never could get into. We're going to spend 6 hours going after one gun. It's like, nope.
Yeah.
That I'm not going to like once I get it.
Yeah.
It's like no.
Or
it has a chance of not rolling
It
correctly.
drops with a wrong roll
Yeah,
and you do it
and-
again.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Oh boy, let's go do another 6 hour.
Because I remember you tried to come back to the game at a point where they had this machine that you would go and you put your stuff in, and
It re-rolls it.
you put in what you've earned, and it drops out the gun, and we'd spend an hour on it. You're just like, that's not the one I wanted. and I was like, all right, get the bounty, we'll do it again. And Lee's like, no.
No.
Don't think so.
I'm
Not
done.
gonna happen.
I'm done. It's it's kind of what I like about not necessarily Division, but like Breakpoint and Wildlands. It's kind of like there's a gun. It costs this amount of money. You got to go out and get this money to buy it. Boom, and you buy it. And I have played Destiny for
You're over 1,000 hours in each game too, I think.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed by that.
Wow.
I can just imagine laying on my
You had to edit that one
deathbed in a nursing home, going, "Oh, my wasted time."
Here's the thing about that game and why you wasted 2,000 hours in it. Okay,
Fun fellowship.
fellowship with other gamers. A lot of times, in my case, other Christian
Met
gamers,
a lot of Christians
other
on there.
pastors.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my best
Met Garth on Division.
Some of my best what
Yeah.
what we would call friends I will never meet, but we met in that game. We played, hung out for hours.
Yeah.
And there's this little app you can get, time wasted on Destiny. You can see where you wasted all your time. And it's like 20% of my game time is goofing off in the tower.
Yeah.
You know, after we said we're done for the night, we go back and hang out and talk and chat and jump around like we're doing nothing for 2 hours, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what made Destiny great.
If you're sitting there and you're listening to this and you're just kind of like, how can you guys do this stuff? It's just such a waste of time. It's actually, yes,
Escape.
You are actually correct, but it's also an escape. And people do different things. They have hobbies, or they sit in front of a television, or
Some people watch Jellystone.
and they watch Jellystone.
Or
You
Game of
know, and
Thrones.
get their. I'd rather play Destiny and watch Jellystone. That's how bad I don't like the show.
I'd rather paint Warhammer figures because that's
I
what
know.
I'm doing now.
But I agree with you. A lot of the time was us getting on there. And, you know, I probably, if I look at it, I may have played in 15 minutes with Mike total since I've known him.
It's true.
But getting on there with people and seriously just playing a game, but talking about Christian matters, just talking about just things in general, just not even really talking about the game. You're just kind of playing the game, but you're talking just like
The game is the second part.
I mean, right now we could sit here and have the same conversation with
And be
controllers in
playing
our
game,
hand,
yeah,
play the
absolutely.
game.
And we have. Yeah.
And we have, and that's the cool thing about a gaming community. You get a lot of toxic people on there, but we stay away. We usually, we get on there. The first guy who just starts swearing uncontrollably, we're like, you're gone, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I shared with you guys, and I don't know why it bothers me so much, but I met Fred on there playing Division, and
He played Destiny as well.
and Fred passed away, and never met the guy, but we talked so much about deep spiritual matters, and hopefully I was able to be his pastor for a little while. And you know, it just kind of weird, but I would not have met him
Without that.
Without
and he
video
was
games.
kind of, you know, he was off the reservation for a little bit, and I think he came back on, and so is there some good stuff? Absolutely. Is it a colossal waste of time? Sometimes yes, but sometimes you need that in this crazy freaking world.
There's all kinds of things that are colossal wastes of time.
Where you could just sit there and say, you know what, for a couple of hours, I'm going to escape from all this crap that's going on. Yeah, do it. My wife has her thing that she does, and she lets me do that, and she's cool with that. And we spend a lot of our time together, but there's also, you know, sometimes you just want to get away and veg out, and they're great for that. So,
Honorable mentions.
honorable mentions.
You gotta hit it.
You gotta do it quick.
You gotta
You're
do it
first.
quick.
Why? We've gone long, haven't we?
Yeah, it's okay. Garth.
That's all right.
Garth will have a long
Garth,
dinner.
this is just for you.
Yeah, this is just for you anyway.
We're
so
going to have
a long
one
dinner.
view,
Can
and that's
you
good.
read
Better
that?
be you. Huh?
Can you read that?
No.
No, I
it's
just
really
looked at my
far away.
watch. She told me what time we were starting.
It's okay. Just go ahead.
107.
Honorable mention, which is about to be on anybody's list, and you won't like this game, but Sniper Elite 4.
It's not my style, but
Played the crap out of it. World War II simulator where you're a sniper, and you don't have all the gadgets and stuff that you have now. It's basically you and a rifle hiding in bushes, trying to mask your shots. And the great thing about Sniper Elite 4 is if you miss a shot and get detected, you're dead.
yes.
Yeah, it's seriously,
I like that.
you're
Ultimate punishment.
Just like, then they'll tell you that you're dead if they find you, you're dead.
Yeah.
And so there's just that kind of tension the entire time that you're doing it, because it's not like it is now where with silencers. They had no silencers back then, so you're having to
We barely had scopes.
so you're having to mask your sound
Iron sights.
by using other things, so they can't tell where the rifle's coming from. Just a great. I'm a World War II historian, history buff anyway, so it's a great game.
I don't want to say it, but I'm going to. You want to talk about colossal waste of time? World of Warcraft.
Oh, I can't believe WoW wasn't on top.
I
Number one.
played the crap out of World of Warcraft. Not as much as he played Destiny, but probably pretty close.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft, one of the first big MMO to come out. You want to talk about millions and millions of people playing that game.
Yeah.
It was the community. The World of Warcraft community was awesome. Yeah, you had your sour players in there, your toxic people, but for the most part, good community. Always had loads of fun doing 40-man raids. You want to talk about getting 7 people together? Try getting 40 people together to do a 40-man raid.
I can't imagine.
I played back in the Burning Crusade, Ratchet Lith King era, so that was a white ways back. But one of my favorite games of all time that I will never play again.
Yeah, and
because
if we hadn't got him out
sucked
of
my life away.
if we hadn't gotten him out of that lifestyle,
I mean, it was borderline quit.
you wouldn't be
your
able to
job
see
and stay
any.
home.
You wouldn't be able to see the flag
Anything
behind
behind
him or anything.
Yeah.
He'd be like 500 pounds and have his own
The
show
game's
on
about
television.
to get a big influx of players.
Why so?
Microsoft owns it now.
Oh my
Now
God.
think about this.
Xbox.
Not only will it come to Xbox.
Oh wow.
Not only
We can play together.
Wait a minute. Not
We can
only,
play together for 5 minutes. I can't wait.
Not only will it come to Xbox, but what is the cost of?
$14.99
What do you think it's going to be when it comes to Game Pass?
free, and I'll play it again. Oh
Yeah.
no, I can't. I just said I won't play it ever again because it's killing
But
me.
now,
Never say never.
and now Microsoft just announced this week they've hit 25 million Game Pass Ultimate subscribers. So 25 million people will get to try that
The
game
sad
for
part
free.
is I've almost canceled mine because
Really?
I have Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need it.
You can't play with us without it, but
Yeah, I have Steam.
Get back on Breakpoint. It'd be fun.
Is it on PC?
I don't
No.
know. Probably not.
Probably not.
Honorable mention.
Well, I have 3 down here.
Pick one.
I'm going to pick one. And it's going to be the other game that I spent hundreds of hours of playing before I played shooters. It has to be Forza 2.
Okay.
Back in that era, you can just see me in my living room. I had built a cockpit. Not a cockpit,
And he was shining that cockpit every day.
but a stand.
He was spraying it
to
down with
hold my
ceramic coating.
Hold on. To hold my steering wheel, my pedals, and my gear shift. And I sat in front of that big widescreen and ran the same tracks 50 laps a day.
Yeah, that was why I did Gran Turismo.
And now I was on the top 50 of several leaderboards for several tracks, but that's all I did. That's the only game I played for years. Forza 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can respect that. It's dedication.
I'd like to have steering wheel. I'd like to have that whole setup. I think it would be awesome.
You want the one that moves, though. I've got
Yeah.
a friend that does that iRacing.
Yeah.
So in iRacing, it's a computer game, but it does like NASCAR and dirt track. And all that.
NASCAR on PC was intense.
So in iRacing, you actually buy a car. It's like $10 or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you go out racing and you beat that car up,
Yep.
you have to pay real world money for parts to fix said car. But you win real money racing.
Yeah. It's
So
how NASCAR
You don't
can-
just go out there and beat the crap out of your car because it's fun. It's more of a serious like. I went to play at his house one day. I was like, "Hey, can I try it?" Absolutely not.
No, you can't
No.
drive my car.
He goes, "I had to pay for that car." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like so, it's a real.
Yeah, I
deal,
remember.
Like,
I don't know if it was iRacing back in the 90s.
No, it was just NASCAR.
Yeah,
95
The guy did
NASCAR.
it.
yeah.
But guy did. He did. It was NASCAR on PC, but it wasn't
Yeah.
like NASCAR video game.
Mhm.
But it was actually, and those people were intense.
oh yeah.
They were crazy.
They all-
iRacing is how they kept NASCAR going through the shutdown.
yeah.
Really?
The
A lot of
drivers
their
were
drivers were playing iRacing.
yeah.
Yep.
No, they were NASCAR sanctioned events in iRacing.
Oh really? I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Nice.
So there you go. That's 30. That's probably a little more than 30
I'd
games.
say
33.
That's a good list of games.
That was a good. That was a fantastic list. And we didn't. We have different interests.
I took Zero Dawn off my list when you said it and had to sub something else in. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm the RPG guy. I am, and that's that. To me, the story is the biggest aspect of it.
I mean, really.
Loot's not that big of a deal to me.
No, I'm right there with you. Like I said, with my games like Final Fantasy, Witcher, Ghost of Tsushima.
It's gotta have a story. Yeah.
That's got to be why you like Breakpoint so much, because loot really doesn't matter.
No,
Like-
it's weird.
Like just about every sniper rifle is about the same in that game. Like
Yeah.
I was trying to level up the other night. I was using whatever sniper rifle had the highest gear score, and it didn't matter.
And I don't know if they. Maybe they changed difficulty for each player, because I'm sitting there last night and the enemies I'm facing are 250.
Yeah.
And
I think it
he's
scales.
killing them. He's at level 4 and
It
he's
scales.
killing them. Yeah, so they must change it.
That good, Lee.
He's just that good. Yeah, he made himself a medic so he could revive himself. So
That's not a bad idea. I mean,
That's the role you played in Division too, wasn't it, medic? Weren't you running the
oh my gosh, first it was my
oh, your head is
the
shiny.
glasses. My head is shiny now.
There
You
go.
don't have googly eyes though.
I don't
That's
have
true.
googly eyes,
Yeah, shiny forehead.
but you could show a movie on that forehead.
Forehead. You could park a semi in there.
Hopefully people they don't watch the show, they just listen to it. All right, we thank you so much. I would say I hope you enjoyed it, but if you're a gamer, you would enjoy it. But this is the definitive guide to games.
I'd say it is.
If you're just starting out,
At least in Uranus.
you're done a good job. Yeah.
Well, you notice we left.
We don't have
off-
jobs in Uranus. We just play video games all the time.
We let.
This is a fantastic utopia.
Believe it or
man, it
not,
is.
there are games besides Fortnite and Apex and all those battle royales.
Yes.
Really good games, But all you hear about, or
All you
watch
hear
on-
about is
is that junk. Yeah,
COD. I called it COD.
yeah, we call it that or COD.
Oh,
it's
they
COD.
just ragged on me. Your
Oh, yeah,
boys.
It's COD.
It's COD.
They don't even
COD.
play it, so what do they care?
So I'm thinking COD. My first thing I'm thinking is COD piece. That's what I think.
Or fish?
Or fish, yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
but there's a COD piece they used to wear back in medieval ages. That covered up your genitalia, and it's like I wouldn't run around saying that, guys, especially to old people.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Be sure to like and subscribe. Share this with avid gamers. See what they think. Give your comments down below. We love it all.
Yeah, comment your favorite games below.
Yeah, tell us
Have a little
tell
conversation
us
and-
your games that maybe didn't make our list that should have been on there.
Or argue with our list. We're good with that.
Yeah, but I don't think. I mean, I don't know what.
Nobody can argue. I mean, it's
I just want to
gave
say
you the
it's
30
the
best
definitive
games.
list. You cannot argue with this list.
yeah.
And so we love you guys. Thank you so much. God bless you and have a fantastic week. We'll see you later on. Bye.
The Gospel Broalition is done, leaving behind charred minds, exhaust fumes,
Oh, my
ammo,
ears hurt.
multiple cigar wrappers, and an empty bottle of
How
bourbon.
long was it?
Mission accomplished. You've been listening to the Gospel Broalition with Pastor Lee, J.R. Robinson, and the Hoosier Hillbilly, Mike Paul. A show for men,
Yeah, but
by
he's-
men.
does he have
If it's
headphones?
religion, politics,
He probably wears
cars,
his in-ear
guns, cigars, and anything else flammable, we're talking about it. We hope you enjoyed the show. We know we had fun. We'll be back soon, and thank you for being a part of the Gospel Broalition.